idea behind everything. It's obvious that, I mean, it's got to be obvious to SKT as well that herO is going to come out. That's the reason he's going to come out here. He's a good player regardless, and here he is. Did not play today, but now he is playing in the ace match. Was reserved for this match.
Yeah, we do sometimes see this happen. It's pretty rare to actually see somebody who doesn't play come out, because usually you send your best players out. That's why this type of choice is called a snipe, and it's a really unique choice. Because if you look at the GSTL format, a snipe is one that's like, it's very calculated, it's very easy, where you look and you say, okay, I'm playing against him no matter what. I know I'm playing against him, I'm going to snipe him. Sniping here is risky, because if they use anybody but herO, then suddenly the plan falls apart. I don't think they could have, in good conscience, used anybody but herO here. Remember, guys, if CJ wins this, they go to the playoffs. Yep. Now, Kanata and our main caster, our MC, have forfeited the vote, but the rest of us, non-cowards, have voted herO.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they wouldn't vote, but I guess it's just a decision on their part. They feel like maybe it's too close, or like you were saying, there just weren't enough stats for them to vote on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was joking about. Like, like, I don't know, there's not enough stats on FanTaSy, we can't vote here.
But regardless, they did not vote, and we vote for herO 3-0.
Yeah, that seems to be the feel. We're going to jump into this game right away, our final game of the night. Frost is the map for our ace match between CJ Entis and SK Telecom T1.
Up here in the top left on Frost, in the yellow for CJ Entis, the Protoss player being sent out to play once again. It is herO.
Down here on the bottom left for SK Telecom T1, it's FanTaSy. Now this is the part where I would actually type PP, because FanTaSy is red and his official color is orange. How did that go unnoticed?
Oh boy. Well,
Kespo let that one slide. I'm like, I'm the only person besides, like, you know, thousands
I would not have noticed that.
Now. I noticed, even though I'm bad with colors, man, I noticed that right away.
I'm like, well, he's wearing a red jacket, lol.
FanTaSy is different from everybody else, Kappa.
He doesn't fly orange like SK Telecom, I guess.
No,
SK Telecom actually has red and orange in their logo, so
yeah.
Since KT already had the red, it kind of makes sense that they picked the orange afterwards.
Truly. Does make sense.
Truly, madly, deeply.
Now, we have a gas here, so it's just going to be doing a standard Reaper expand. herO, on the other hand, taking his gases very late, probably going to do double gas then. And there they go.
Yeah.
A bit of a more passive early game than the previous game we saw. Well, actually, that was a pretty passive early game, too. The Protoss versus Protoss early game was pretty quick paced, pretty fast.
Yeah. You got buildings in your opponent's base. It's pretty fast paced. There's a pylon all the way on the right side of the base. Going to get some good vision of his base once that does get made. And we'll make it harder for the Reaper to come in and scout. Of course, the Reaper wants to come in and scout and see all the different pylons, all the tech if possible.
Yeah.
So if you spread it out, it makes it harder, especially for scans as well.
True. It's also good because it gives you vision of your base for later on when drops come in. It's really important to spread out your structures like that. It's more important to see a drop coming and react to it than, you know, to save a pylon, because you don't want it to be picked off by the drop. And comes in here, sees the 2 pylons that he's got so far.
FanTaSy, you know, lucky with the scout, does get this first scout right away.
Which means his Reaper can follow up and see the 3rd pylon while he starts his command center, his reactor at home. And the Zealot here is skipped, goes into Stalker, Mothership Core. And he's actually going to pop up into the main base here. Let's spot that 3rd pylon, avoid death if possible.
Well, Mothership Core is here, but only gets 1 shot. Reaper sees the 1 pylon, backs off. isn't going to risk his life just yet.
Actually, could delay this Nexus. Oh, it's not commit. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, if he killed the probe and got away, that would have been a mistake on herO's part. But he could have tried to poke the probe maybe and then fly back. Too risky, though. And it's much better to actually keep the Reaper alive than delay the Nexus a few seconds. Looked like he considered it, though.
Yeah. So far, herO is going to send his Mothership Core across the map. He's going to send it straight down.
Could actually do some damage. Now, the Reaper is going to come around here to the main base again. As far as I can tell, he's actually in there right now.
Look at this. He's actually going to, delay. Oh, one more shot. Yeah, he's going to delay it just a bit. Only takes a little bit of damage on the Mothership Core.
Good reaction there by FanTaSy to pull the SCV down right away, knowing he would lose. Now, okay, the Reaper's just now jumping to the main base.
There it goes.
Denies a gate.
Yeah, blocks the gates from going down. Sees the Twilight Council finishing up there. Does sacrifice his life, though, but sees everything for it.
Builders in StarCraft 2 are so crisp and so... they have to be so on point that, like, in this situation, there's no way for him to say, well, I'm just going to go DTs instead, because he won't expect that after he saw my Twilight Council. And he's going to have to commit to it after being seen. Adds a robotics, though, for that transition. These two Hellions are pretty strange. We don't normally see a commit to only two Hellions to go and scout. See how much he can actually get done with these. Interesting. Gonna go ahead and add a tech lab here for that second barracks with that factory after he's making these two. He might be able to run into the main. I don't think so, though, right? I mean...
No, it doesn't. He would take a lot of damage. Maybe would get one in there. He already has, all the scouting information he needs so far. All he hasn't seen, I believe, is that Robo. And back at home, he has that factory building add-ons as well as a couple of those barracks.
Yeah.
He's going to make a bunker here.
Yeah, he's just starting to get prepared for possible aggression. Observer coming out here, going to give him a little bit more vision with this blink. I think he's just going to take a third base with this. He's going to do the blink feign and come over there, try to force some bunkers to be made, and then drop the third Nexus that's far away from his opponent. Yep, there's a double forge. So this is a strategy we've seen have great success in the past. Really scare Terran opponents and then transition out, then punish the Terran when he tries to come in with his drop ships because you already have blink. Commentators point out we have a heavy saturation of SCVs.
Yeah. 2 bunkers being made back at home. Wants to be very safe. This is something that the blink can kind of force here. Got to be safe is FanTaSy, and in the meantime, herO can just put up his third. Blink is going to finish as well as that robotics bay coming down.
Don't know how much I like showing the Observer here. He wants to see how much he's forced, I guess. Showing the Observer, though, without any stalkers nearby, kind of lets FanTaSy know that it's a fake. I would say. I mean, you can never really make a statement like that because in this matchup, if you think of, if you put your bunkers down for just 1 second and it's not a fake, you just die. So
yeah,
he's not showing any stalkers though. So at this point, FanTaSy has no reason to believe that the attack will actually continue.
Yeah. What our observer was pointing out is that FanTaSy actually switched the starport onto the reactor, but he does not have enough gas to make 2 medevacs at a time. So he's only making 1 medevac. Got to get that gas production a little bit up before. Decides to go for the +1 first before making another medevac.
A much better long-term choice.
Yeah.
He's also adding another refinery, like you mentioned, to get additional gas. And he's stuck on these bases for now, but he will eventually be able to fly that third down. He's got an opponent, a herO in this case, with so much vision with those observers. There's 3 observers plus the watchtower he was holding. He finds the Hellions with the observer. We'll actually blink to kill them, and then we'll go back and take the watchtower. Like, this is just... Oh, wow. One more shot would have done it. But, I mean, this is the kind of advantage you get from having that vision.
Yeah, definitely. Seems like with this +1 on the way, FanTaSy just grouping his units here. Might just poke at the front, maybe force a foot-ton overcharge. Not too many units here for herO. Teching up a bit. He has the double forge, has +1/+1 on the way, going for Colossi as well.
herO is in such a great spot right now. I mean, the only thing he's missing is a third Nexus, basically, but he has everything else he would ever want. I mean, he's got a great set of upgrades over his opponent. He has Colossi with nearly range completed. He starts 2-2 right away.
I feel like he needs some more units here at the front, though. He does have a lot of gateways just on time. Makes 6 Zealots. Will be enough at the front.
Yeah. And, you know, the third base that's down there for FanTaSy now is not quite mining just yet. It's only 2/3 of the way done. Starting to add in some of those Widow Mines, so I think we're going to see him do that. Maru, Polt, you know, whoever you want to name for it, type parade push across the map. This Nexus needs to be canceled quickly, and it's not fast enough. He loses it. 400 minerals down the drain.
Very
Huge
nice.
pickoff.
I mean, he's got his army across the map. He doesn't want to fight the Protoss army head on. He sees the upgrades of the Protoss. He does not want to engage that head on. So he just goes for the Nexus, gets a little advantage here, even snipes the Observer with the scan over his army as well.
The angle was just in a blind spot for herO. You couldn't see it. You know, he had almost vision of everything else. I think that caught him off guard, like, pretty crazily. And just the timing of it, it was only 2 volleys of attacks that he had of time to cancel. And, you know, these pro gamers have some of the best reaction time of anybody in the world, you know, StarCraft or otherwise, but he still couldn't cancel on time. That hurts. But what hurts more, I feel, is the upgrade deficit we have. So that would be 2/2 against just +1 attack. He's even going to start poking here and sieging up this army. He blinks on top of it. He's so confident to fight this right now because his Nexus is so late. He committed so much to army.
Look at this. He even gets the force fields behind. FanTaSy losing a bunch of units there.
Yeah, I'm almost shocked that FanTaSy committed so much. I think he wants to keep the army away so that when this attack hits, he's a little bit shocked and confused. There's no Mothership Core with that army as far as I can tell. He drops the overcharge, but I think there's just too much damage output here. The splash damage to shields there on top of that Nexus, plus the probes he killed. Definitely going to kill this. Needs to target the medevacs if he wants to have any hope of stopping the retreat, and actually he's not going to be able to stop that either.
No, he's not going to be able to. He does get 1 medevac, but a bunch of units coming out here, and FanTaSy coming back here at the third base.
Third base under attack now. These +1 Marauders with a few Marines for support are going to damage the shields. Now, there's too many Bioforces over there. He doesn't have enough to kill it, but he's just forcing more multitasking here. The Widow Mine's actually going to kill a Colossus, potentially. One more will do it. Boom.
Oh, that's a big mistake. He's trying to focus and push the army of FanTaSy away from his third base, but these 5 Widow Mines, enough to take out a Colossus. Oh, man.
They're still there, too. He has to deal with them. He only has 1 observer, and I think it's somewhere else on the map. He's not making any more observers right now either.
And look at this. He wants to move across the map. He wants to put on some damage. Meanwhile, FanTaSy is coming in here, and he wants to drop in the main of herO right now. Meanwhile, herO's army is not here at all. He's going to take out both forges.
I think this is a mistake from herO to try to do this all in. Let's find out. Huge Bioforce that's very mobile, attacking his base currently. But, you know, I don't think FanTaSy expected this. His defense is not set up here. Only a few Vikings, no bunkers. This game is going to be a race, an elimination race, most likely here. The command center targeted. Scan goes down to kill that observer. A nice pick off there. Detection is very important oftentimes in this type of scenario because you can hide Banshees, you know, later on in the game if it becomes that type of game. He's going to kill some of these production facilities over here that were started. This command center, I think, should escape. He's actually going to fight with his SCVs here.
Well, the SCV's actually going out there. He's going to fight with the Bio here. Nice force fields are going to pick it off, but the Vikings are doing a bunch of damage as well. Has the reinforcements from the drop coming back now. There's no Zealots here to tank.
No Zealots to tank. Sentries at the front actually too in the tanking job. Last Vikings there do fall. The Colossus is alive. And it's just a matter of army supply here. I mean, 71 to 56 right now in favor of the Terran. The upgrades are what keeps herO alive, and that's how he was able to survive here. Again, just a really mobile force of Bio, and good Blink Stalker micro. That 1 Colossus is basically everything for him right now. The +1 for Vikings and the +2 is about finished. He catches the Widow Mines, though. Nice catch here. That is huge. That's a game changer right there.
Yep, evens up army supply now, and having that Colossi in the mix as well as the Immortals has the better tech. A lot of Vikings here, though, for this 1 Colossi. After the Colossus goes down, it's not going to do much, and having nice blink micro here for herO is very, very nice.
It's really, really important to note that the natural is not mining for FanTaSy right now. So, you know, he's down on harvesters. The Protoss army is big enough to keep poking. The SCVs are not mining, actually. And the third base has now been remade for herO. Okay, well, let's see. Is he going to commit? No, just picks off some Widow Mines. Looks like he may get the Colossus this time, but he's going to lose a lot for it. And Charged Zealots, can they close the distance here? It's mostly Stalkers versus Marauders. Stalkers do bonus damage, and they have the better armor upgrade right now. Here comes some SCVs. Can they break through? I don't think so, Brennan. I think herO has done it.
herO looks like he has done it, even though the Zealots do go down. Very nice force fields to cut off the rest of this army of FanTaSy. They're trying to run away, losing too many SCVs. herO is sighing in relief. He is so happy about this one.
He certainly is. FanTaSy looks crushed. Meanwhile, you know, he was the ace. He failed. 3 Marauders on the way. Not going to be enough. A scan goes down. I think he's just checking the saturation of the third base right now. And he's either going to type GG or he's going to take that fancy GG timing that he's so well known for. Last of the Marauders do fall here. Way too much damage. GG! herO takes it! And CJ Entis will be going to your round 2 playoffs.
Oh my god, such a huge improvement for CJ Entis in this round. Not doing well at all in round 1. They are able to finally make it here in round 2. They clinch the playoff spot. This is the CJ Entis that everybody wanted to see. So many different players coming in here for CJ Entis, showing games, showing that they deserve to be in the playoffs. herO taking 2 of those.
What an excellent display of CJ's skill today. This is exactly as you said, the CJ Entis people were expecting to see all season. The CJ Entis we saw in StarCraft 1. This group of players who's, you know, got so much skill amongst them, and they've struggled so much this season. You know, even Gumiho looking a bit crazy there. FanTaSy's got to be crushed, as you might expect, being the ace player who didn't play any matches in the regular maps. Was the sniper to beat herO and still couldn't do it. Had a lot of advantages in that game. He lost a lot of his units when he tried to turn around and go home. I think a better choice might have been to try to eliminate, but he didn't have enough units to, at least he decided, to actually kill the Pross buildings fast enough before the Pross could turn around and kill his small army.
Yeah, I feel like that was the decision there. These are the results, guys, from this last matchup.